It's Thursday, the 1st of July. We start the day today with the Leader of the House explaining what's going to be up next week. He'll make a statement. There's the opportunity for the opposition to question him about that. We then go on to questions to ministers. The first question is Shane Retty to the Prime Minister. Probably Grant Robertson answering for her about the government's statements and policies. The second question is Irina Williams to the Minister of Finance about the economy. Simon Court to the Minister of Transport about the cost of cutting greenhouse gas emissions through the Clean Car package. Dr Emily Henderson to the Minister of Local Government about the Three Waters reforms. Michael Woodhouse to the Minister of Transport, whether he stands by all his statements. Tiana Tuono to the Minister of Foreign Affairs about engagement with the International Seabed Authority. I think that's about drilling in international waters. Maya Lubeck to the Minister of Workplace Relations and Safety, policies that come into effect from the 1st of July. Simon Bridges to the Minister of Justice about hate speech. Sarah Pallett to the Associate Minister of Health about community midwife services. Debbie Ngārewa-Paka to the Minister for Children about Oranga Tamariki. Nicola Willis to the Minister of Housing about housing policy. And Venushi Walters to the Minister for Diversity, Inclusion and Ethnic Communities about improving outcomes for ethnic communities. Then unusually we have a question from Chris Pink to the member in charge of the Rights for Victims of Insane Offenders Bill, who is the Honourable Louise Upston, about reports or reactions she's received recently in relation to her bill. We then go on to a government notice of motion, which will give the ability for Te Pāti Māori to participate in more debates. Then the second reading of the Education and Training Grants Budget Measures Amendment Bill in the name of Chris Hipkins. The second reading continued of the Supporting Children in Court legislation bill in the name of Chris Farfoy, and we might get on to the Maritime Powers Bill first reading, which is in the name of the Honourable Nanaia Mahuta. Today, select committees have been meeting in the morning. House will sit from 2 till 5 and we'll be back here again on Tuesday of next week.